Now let us look into what do you mean by endorsement policy. So endorsement policy is nothing but a policy that defines smallest set of organizations that are required to endorse a transaction in order for it to be valid. It is described or set during chain code instantiation. So the principles are described as MSP.role, where MSP represents the required MSP ID and role represents one of the accepted roles, which is either member, admin, client, or peer. Now let us look into a couple of examples of valid principles. So when we say arg0.admin, which means that any administrator of organization 0 MSP, which internally means any administrator who holds organization zero's membership service provider, otherwise the certificates, which is X4509 certificates, which I'm talking. So, sorry. And the second example, org1.member. This means any member who's holding org1 MSP. Org1.client. This means any client of organization 1 MSP. Org1.peer. Any peer of org1 MSP. So this is the syntax that is used in order for us to express the endorsement policies. So as you can see, you have this expression. So expression takes the value either and or out of, and E is either a principle, and you can nest those inside all this, which so if you don't understand how you are nesting the expression, we are going to provide a couple of examples for you to understand, and we will look into all the endorsement policy syntax in the practical section as well. So don't worry if you don't understand this expression. So as I've told before, expression takes the value and or out of, and E is either a principle or another nested call to the expression. Now let us see a couple of examples so that you can understand this policy syntax better. As we have seen, this is the expression which takes and or another one, other one which we have discussed, which is out of, right? So here we are having and or. So let us understand. So this is and or, which is open parenthesis, and after that you have arg1 dot member, arg2 dot member, or arg3 dot member. So from this, you can read this policy as follows. So in order for this transaction to be valid, the policy requests one signature from each of these three principles. So why each of the three principles? Because you have and as an expression. So if you have or as an expression, as you can see in the second example, or arg1 dot member, arg2 dot member, for the transaction to be valid, it requires one signature from either one of the true principles. As we can see, since we are using or, you can use either, like either of these can be used. So again, one more example, or arg1 dot member, and which this is what we have talked, which is the nested expression. It requests either one signature from a member of organization 1 MSP, which is this part of the expression, or one signature from a member of arg2 and org2 MSP, and because it is and one signature from a member of R3 MSP. So for this transaction to be true, the org2 member and org3 member, both of them have to have to vote. After that, either of them should turn true in order for this transaction to be valid. So this is how you're going to read the endorsement policies. So you will get to know how the practicality of it when we try our hands on the practical section. So the transaction validation is, so as part of transaction validation, there are a couple of steps that are performed, and we will look into each of those steps. So each validating peer checks to make sure that the transaction contains appropriate number of endorsements. The transactions are from the expected source, which means both of these specified in the endorsement policy. The endorsements are also checked to make sure they are valid. That means they are having valid signatures or valid X509 certificates. So the ways to set endorsement policies in Fabric is setting chain code level endorsement, and you can also set collection level endorsement policies, and you can set key level endorsement policies. This itself is a topic, so you can go read more about this on the course page, which is available on the course doc, which is available on the course page, to get to know more details about endorsement policy. So there is a concept of private data. So private data collection you can also specify in an endorsement policy at a private collection level. So you can specify the endorsement policy in different level, as we have seen before. So private data collection you can specify using endorsement policy. So this will override the chain code level endorsement policy for any keys in the private data collection. So there are cases where it may be necessary for a particular public channel state or private data collection state to have a different endorsement policy. This state-based endorsement allows the chain code level or collection level endorsement policies to be overridden by different policies for a specified keys. So as we have told before, to get more information on how this works and how to define all this, please go through the course doc available on the course page. That is it about endorsement policy. In the next section, we are going to look into what do you mean by membership service provider or MSP. Stay tuned.